Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is September 2023 and I'm losing my voice a little bit. I just finished a run, so I'm a little congested at the moment. So if I'm coughing, that's what's going on. Feeling good, but yeah, just finished running. So income is $14,960 for September. Pretty decent month. I'm back to work. My wife is still at home on maternity leave. My paternity leave is over, and so it's time for me to go back to work. On September 10th, I went back, and then I've worked about 3 weeks since then. So um, for taxes, 4,600. Still planning to max out my 401k, so that's $2,092 a month. Take home pay was 8,200. For my wife, she picked up another part-time teaching class, and so that's like an extra maybe $800 or $900 roughly every month. So she's up to 6,173. 526 in taxes. Her 401k, or 403b and 457b HSAs, those are not going to change. That's with her main employer, so she's working 2 jobs right now, one part-time and then one full-time. Insurance is pretty much the same every month. It did go up here recently in August. I did notice that $46 a month. That was because it went up because we had a baby in June. So that would be why that went up. So it looks like if for us, if you have a baby, it's about $46 more per month for insurance. So that's not too bad. But her insurance with her company is extremely cheap. So that's full coverage, the HSA option. So take home pay $687. That's just from doing the adjunct teaching part-time job. Rental properties 2525. So that is like the 5th month in a row now that no tenant has ever paid late. So that's probably the longest streak that I've ever had. But yeah, so they're just doing their thing. I've not had any turnover now oh my, it's been a long time. That one lady, for house number 5 or house number 6, I think it's house number 5, is December 2019 is when she moved in, and the second lady moved in September 2020. So they've now been there for almost 4 years. So that's awesome. This month we also got the buyout from my employer. We did not get any accepted offer on our house. So I had a relocation package with my new employer that I started with in March of this year. If I listed my house for like 400 something thousand and didn't sell it in 120 days, then my employer would pay us $395,000 for the house. They'd pay all realtor fees, all closing costs, all that stuff. So we listed it at 415 and then dropped it down to 405, and then for 120 days it just sat there. The market has really dried up in my area, and so things are just quite a bit slower than what they were for the past couple years, and that would probably be because of interest rates. Interest rates are like 7-8% right now, so just not that many people wanting to move out of their house that's at 3% to move into a house at 8%. But so yeah, we sold house number 4. Finally got that off the list. We closed September 15th, and I got a check for $166,257. So I'm pretty sure that's the largest check that I've ever gotten. Yeah, I've got one for 78 and then 59. So that is for sure the largest check that I've gotten so far, which was nice. So gross income for the month was 190,000, and then take home pay was 177,000. If you get rid of the house, if I can do some quick math, it was $23,000 in gross income and then about $11,500 in take home pay if you don't count the house. So moving on to our net worth. House number 4 is gone, so that is off the spreadsheet. House number 5, house number 7, land 8, and house number 8 all just went up their 2% per year. No changes with any vehicles or anything like that. I probably will update that here coming up. I probably should have done it for this month, but I want to try to do that every 6 months to every 12 months, at least once a year. So investment-wise, market was down about 3,000 in the HSA, down 6,000 in our 401k, and then my wife was actually up in hers, about $1,200, $1,700. She was probably up because she's putting 4,000 a month in hers. I am down even though I'm putting 2,000 a month in mine. So mine really got hit pretty decently this month. So we were net negative about $7,000. So not the end of the world. This is, I mean, kind of market ebbs and flows. So I definitely don't feel like we're back to December 2021 levels, but yeah, I mean, we're at least up compared to where we were. Oh my, down here, I mean, all through 2022. So, house number 4 is off the debt list, and I applied all of the principal to house number 8, just like I said I would last month. So, this is how things are looking. The two rental properties, I think this is at 3.5 and this one's at 3.375. I'm just making minimum payments on those. The mortgage, taxes, and insurance for each are about 750 to 800 a month, and then rent's like 1,200 to 1,350 a month, somewhere in there. So those are cash flowing pretty well. Land 8 is a 15-year fixed at 3.7%. So these three I'm just paying minimum payments on. I'm not going to prioritize these anytime soon. Our main goal and focus right now is house number 8. And so getting house number 8 taken care of and getting that paid down. So I've actually added another tab here. So this is kind of like one of our sub goals to our overall goal. I guess, the overall goal is to have about $4 million by 40 years old. We're 29 and a half roughly right now. And so we're way ahead of schedule, almost $300,000 ahead of schedule. But a sub goal of that is we're entering the phase of our life where we have the house that we want to have, we have the cars that we want to have, we've paid off all credit cards, student loans, we've paid off car payments, all that stuff. We're just have debts on mainly cash producing assets, like rental properties, except for our house. And so we would eventually like to probably retire early, maybe be a part of the fire community. And the equation goes two ways. Either I can pile up money inside of investments and have investments. Once investments can pay for our monthly expenses, then I would be able to retire, or my wife would be able to retire. And when I say retire, I mean I would still work. I just wouldn't work in the pharmaceutical industry. Or option two would be to pay down the debts that we have and reduce our expenses. And so here's my thinking. I could put this money in a money market. And money market right now are probably earning 5%. The problem with that is I'm at a pretty high tax bracket, even maxing out all my 401ks, 403bs, 457bs, and HSAs. I'm still probably in a 25-ish to 35-ish% tax bracket if you include all the 5 different taxes that were taxed here, not including sales tax and property tax. So I'm probably 30% taxes. So if I put my money in money market, all of the money that I make there is going to be taxed at least 30%. And so I'm actually only going to earn maybe 3.5, maybe 3.5% if I put all this money in a money market and then hold it in there. So what I'm thinking is just knock out house number 8. So house number 8 is at a 5.25% interest rate. If I pay this loan off early, I do not have to pay taxes on the five. So I keep all of the 5.25% interest that I'm paying off. And then second, I'm reducing my risk because I'm eliminating debt, and I'm working towards that fire equation because I'm reducing my monthly expenditures. And so when I actually go to retire, whether that's 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, um, my monthly expenses will essentially be maybe 4,000 a month. So if I can generate 48,000 to $50,000 a year, I should be able to stay afloat. So to generate $50,000 a year, that's roughly like 1.2 million, maybe, if my math is roughly correct at 4%. So that's pretty reasonable. So the goal right now, that what we've concluded basically is if I wanted to make a 5.25% interest, I would have to invest in the stock market and probably earn 7 to 8%, to be after tax 5.25. So I'm just going to choose the guarantee 5.25%, pay this mortgage off as fast as I can, and then that will save us, $3,000 a month in expenses. So that is our next goal, I would say, minus the aside from the $4 million by 40 years old, the top priority for us, probably for the next few years, will just be to eliminate house number eight's debt. So get this down to zero and have the paid for house. So even once I pay off house number eight, we obviously still have some other debts. I don't know what the plan will be after that. Right now, I'm just going to focus on house number eight. These are relatively low. I'm assuming after I pay off house number eight in 3 to 5 years, it will be to start paying off the land, which is at 3.7, or probably more likely pile up cash. And then if a rental property comes up that's above my 15% cash on cash return, purchase the rental property, preferably in cash. Or if I can't find any rental properties, I'll just knock out some of these debts here. So that's kind of the 3 to 8 year look ahead, I would say, and what the game plan is looking like. So we did knock our debt down about, well, exactly $400,000 compared to last month. So that's good. That's house number four eliminated, and that's $170,000 off the price of house number eight. So pretty good month there. So we'll just keep chipping away at this for the next probably 3 to 5 years, and I'll elaborate more on that in the loan amortization schedule here in a second. But checkings account, we're going to keep this around 30,000. We're at 27,341, and so we are at 27,000 because we had to pay our mortgage out of it. So we were at 30 when I crunched all the numbers. We made that mortgage payment, so that dropped us to 27,000. Next month and going forward, I will probably, well, not probably, this should be exactly $30,000 every single month going forward. And so anything that we save above $30,000 is just going, I'm just going to make a principal only payment to house number eight and just keep chipping away at that. Rental checkings account gained about $700 this month. So things are getting more expensive, and I've not done the best job at increasing rents, I would say. So right now the average rent for a 4 bedroom, so house number five is that one. House number five is a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom. I would say the average rent right now is for a 4 bedroom in my area is 1,800. The lady that lives in this house pays 1,350. And then same thing for house number seven. It's a 3 bed, 1 bath. Average rent's probably 15 to 1,600, and it's rented at 1,175. I have bumped the rents up about $100 to $150 over the past like 4 years, but I've not done the best job about keeping them up with market rents. So I would rather have the people stay in the properties. But with that being said, the $1,000 a month that I was making pretty consistently before is probably down to $700 or $800 now. Property taxes in my area probably went up $1,000 a year per house, and then insurance costs are going up probably $300 or $400 a year per house, and so that's just eating away at the margins. And even increasing rent $100 a month, I mean, hardly even pays for the property taxes. And then again, utilities, trash, gas, all that stuff, yeah, just costs money. Same thing with plumbing. If I call a plumber, it's $300, $400 every time. So we're still cash flowing positively at least, but if we have somebody move out of one of the rental properties, I will for sure bump those up to market rates. But for now, I'm just going to keep them the same. So total cash at 46,000, but that brings our net worth to $1,184,094. So an increase of about $24,000 compared to last month. So we've really done well this year, honestly. So starting, I mean, this was January 1st. Essentially, we were at 963,000, and then we're in September, and we've increased our net worth $220,000 in roughly 9 months. I mean, we are on pace for a pretty good year here, with 3 months left to go. So I'll jump into the loan amortization schedule real quick, but this is just a template off of Excel. You can just plug everything in here. So our original loan amount was $686,190. Our interest rate's 5.25. It's a 30-year. I make 12 payments a month. The loan started on August the 30th was our first payment. And so the principal payment right now is $3,789.17. So that first month in August, I did make an extra payment of $1,304. And then this month, I made an extra payment of $175,000. So our principal balance right now is somewhere around $508,000, give or take. But here's the trick that I'm going to do. So I knew that our monthly payment was going to be pretty high, so 3,800. I had a way to drop that down to 2,800, and so that's called a re-amortization of your loan. And so if you make a large payment, like just like what I did here in September this month, then you can re-amortize your loan, and basically it just recalculates the bill that you get every month. So you don't restart your loan. So if you're 15 years in, you still keep, you're still 15 years in after that. But basically what that did was drop our payment down to $2,813. And so it just reduces the amount that we have to pay. But if our goal is to make as much principal only payments as we can and drop this loan down as fast as possible, then I mean, it doesn't really matter in the long run. Basically, if something horrible happened, our minimum payment that we'd have to make is just lower. And so I figured it doesn't cost anything to do this. So I went ahead and did it. But so next month in October, our mortgage payment will be $2,813 rather than $3,800. So drop $1,000 a month. um, I am giving myself a little bit of grace for the next couple months. We have some expensive stuff kind of coming up, and so I'm going to give myself 2 months to just kind of get through all of that stuff, and yeah, and then pick back up here in January. So right at the start of the year, I've kind of calculated what our current income is in terms of take-home pay. So we should be able to make all of our payments, pay for utilities, all the extra spending, and put an extra $4,700 a month towards the loan. Some months, like I'll get a raise in between March and April, so that's why there's an increase here. So I'm planning to get maybe a 3% raise between these 2 months. So I'll have to start putting $5,000 per month, and then in May I will get paid 3 times, and so that's about maybe $10,000 in the month of May. And then each year I get one pretty big bonus, usually about 16%. So that should be 20,000-ish dollars take home pay each March. So yeah, that's kind of how it's looking. But I have kind of planned this all out for the next, I don't know how many years. It's looking like, based on this schedule, it should be July 2028 is when our principal balance will hit zero, if we can hit the schedule that I've set out here. So it's about it's a just under 5 years away. So it's not super motivating. I was hoping it'd be a little bit faster than that, but my wife and I are pretty good at hitting goals. So we'll see how we do. I would really like to hit it in 3 years, maybe 4 years if possible. But I'm gonna have to get creative and figure out how to make some extra money if I want to do that. So yeah, that's going to be the game plan for the next probably 5 years, is just to keep chipping away at house number 8 and go from there. But for the time being, as of September 2023, our net worth is sitting at $1,184,094, and we are $295,000 ahead of our goal pace of having $4 million of net worth by 40 years old. So again, we're 29. We have about 10 and a half years left before we're 40. We hit the $1 million mark in January of this year, and yeah, we're quickly approaching the $1.2 million mark just at the end of the year here. So um, yeah, I'm gonna keep crunching numbers and see if I can figure out anything to pay this off faster. I don't really want to sell either of the rental properties because they've been really good assets to our net worth and very much positively contributed to that. So I may just have to increase income or sell something, or maybe get rid of a truck, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to kind of brainstorm and see how I can get this down to 3 or 4 years. 5 years is just a little bit long. So yeah, I will see everybody in October, but thank you for watching the video. Next month's videos are on the screen now. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, things that you'd like to see in future videos, just comment them down below. Thanks everybody, and we will see you in the next video.